On this episode,
I just saw you just like glazed
This
over.
part
for a
is really
second
great
there.
because he said, I call the tuchas, which is for any of your viewers who may not be Jewish, is the arse of the turkey.
The ass end of the turkey.
And that's the part I said, oh my God, that's the part my mother always calls because it's fatty and it's disgusting.
from the coveted corner booth in a little bar at the center of the Coachella Valley universe, welcome to another Big Conversation with Patrick Evans and Randy Florence, presented by the McCallum Theater. Visit McCallumTheater.org or reach the box office at 760-340-2787. Gentlemen.
Well, thank you, Howard. Yes, we are back. We are on location at the Tap House in Indio.
Remote.
Skip Page's other bar.
We're doing a remote.
It's a remote. We want to thank Skip for accommodating us. The nice thing is, when one bar is closed, another one opens.
Yes.
That's the story of my life. Skip Page, thank you very much. We are, of course, this is Big Conversations Little Bar. My name is Patrick Evans, and I'm your host and my co-host, sidekick, and dear friend, Randy Florence.
I'm three things again today. Sometimes I'm only two, but I'm three today. I appreciate that.
Oh,
you're
you're
the
a number
epic man.
more than that, but I don't want to say it here on the. Of course, our producer, John
That'll be our
McMullen.
only fan version.
And we need to, of course, give a big shout out to the McCallum Theater, our presenting sponsor. They're creeping up on another great season, but now is the time to get your season tickets while there are still good seats available for certain shows. A lot of stuff sells out super quick. And Randy, I know that you were usher
I was.
for a season with
A
the
season?
McCallum.
Yep. I saw some great shows.
Yeah.
But the most fun night, and I've talked about this, was in the lobby the night Charo was there.
Oh.
That was... You were there?
Our guest.
Our guest is
I'm
telling
going
us
to
he
introduce
was there.
Glenn in just a moment, but he wants to chime
I'm
in.
supposedly not on yet.
You're just,
I'm still in the restroom.
this is like the Carson show when you're not yet on the couch.
I
you
know. I'm not here, but I feel like I need to talk about
I
it.
feel like we need to get into this so
We
he
are
can
going to
talk
do that,
about
but
it.
again, the McCallum Theater, get your tickets right now at McCallumTheater.org because they will sell out, and all your best shows, you're going to miss it. And I'm so pleased to welcome our guest today. Glenn Rosenblum is here, and he is a busy celebrity talent broker,
Oh, I'm so busy.
a vocalist, an actor, a musical mensch.
Yes. Yes.
You have been dubbed the new prince of Los Angeles cabaret.
Yes, I have.
Who called you that first?
Someone on BroadwayWorld.com, which isn't exactly the New York Times, but I'll take it.
But no, I think that's high
It's okay.
praise. That's
It's
pretty
fine
good.
for someone who was afraid to do a cabaret show. It's very good.
You've worked with a whole bunch of incredible people.
I have.
And we're going to get some stories about that. But we appreciate you taking time. Now, we
I
met.
can only talk about people who are dead. No, I can't.
you can talk-
I have no shame.
Well, I know you have a William Shatner story, and I'm going to get you
I
to tell.
do.
He is very much alive, but he probably doesn't listen to the podcast, so it's okay.
Yes.
The odds are really good.
But you were at the Charo show with Randy.
I was at the last one.
Yeah,
Yes.
the lobby.
Where the
drag
queens. My mother, may she rest in peace, took a picture with those drag queens. And yes, that was a lot of fun seeing Charo. I was impressed with Charo.
I was too.
Because I feel like she absorbed. We didn't even get into. I'm just talking.
It's fine.
I feel like she absorbed every bit of finesse and shtick from all of those people that she had performed next to or sat with on the Tonight Show. Like, didn't her patter and that whole patter thing, I was like, oh, she's like as good as like a Buddy Hackett, Don Rickles. She absorbed all that, and I thought that was so impressive.
And she's so talented. The way she plays,
Yes.
the way she dances, just
Yes.
incredible.
Yes.
I was exhausted
impressed.
watching her.
I was impressed. So it was you, my mother, and a 1,000 gay men.
Well,
Kind of. That's her
I'm
crew.
not making any announcements
That's her
yet,
crew.
but
That's her crew.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah?
And I was an usher.
And she's coming back to the
She is.
McCallum,
Yes,
which
she
made
is.
me laugh.
Yeah, this
was like,
time I
oh my
won't be an
God.
usher. I'm going to pay.
One night wasn't enough.
Well,
Yes.
McCallum is a sponsor, so we might be able to get discounted tickets.
No, they're going to sell out and not offer any discounts to you.
Probably that's true.
We may have to sit in Glenn's booth.
Yeah.
He has a box.
A box?
Oh, I do?
Oh, do
yes.
you?
No, I don't.
Awesome.
I have sat in those boxes, though.
Well,
on the side. They're good.
I think you should tell them that you are the Prince of Los Angeles Cabaret.
I am the Prince of Los Angeles Cabaret.
Damn it.
And maybe I'll get in.
And you
Damn
can
it.
do what Mitch did for us at the McCallum, where he offered us tickets to his show and gave us pretty good tickets, and then we looked up in the private box, and he was standing up there by himself.
He was all alone in a easily. It was one of those boxes in the McCallum that holds 8 or 10 people, and we had good seats.
Yeah.
They were in the balcony.
But
the
you
show
can see very well up
you can
there.
See very, there's not a bad seat in the house.
No, I was really happy with balcony seats.
No, balcony
last
seats are
year.
great at the McCallum. We were there, and then we just gaze up, and there's the outline of the silhouette of Mitch, who was the head of the McCallum at the time, and he's just by himself, and he didn't bother to invite us up there.
No, never even looked at us.
No,
Yeah.
no.
But it was a great show anyway.
But how
saw
lucky
Tom
are we
Papa.
to have that theater there? We're so lucky.
We are so lucky. I mean, it holds, 1,100?
Yeah.
That's
And
great.
it's an incredible theater. There are no bad seats, and they get incredible I mean, Mitch, who is now officially and for the last time retired.
Really retired.
Mitch Gershenfeld was the president and CEO and brought in, he was kind of the booker of the talent.
He left the country so they couldn't rehire him.
That's right. Yeah, he did. He sold all of his homes. And he said, "I'm not buying a home. I'm going to be on a ship somewhere. You can't find me." He's gone. But of course, Gary Keefe has taken over as the head of the board of McCallum, and he's doing some really great things, and they're booking some incredible shows.
I think they're starting to get a little edgier with Few Nights with Wanda Sykes.
Yeah.
I was like, I like what they're doing.
We like
there.
that a
They
lot.
really did start to beef up. In fact, we went to see Tom Papa, who's not an edgy comedian.
But that's a big show for this town.
It's a big show. It's a
Yeah.
good get. I mean, I love Tom Papa. He's a middle-aged,
I know
balding
who he is,
guy
yeah.
from New Jersey with
Yeah.
2 daughters, so he's my spirit animal. I understand everything he says.
Good.
And, if I were clever, I could write the same comedy because our experiences in life are the same. He talks about his
It's what
dogs.
my brothers and I used to say about Jerry Seinfeld, who grew up in the same town we did, and my brother would say, "We know all this crap happened to us too, but we didn't write it down and make a sitcom."
Right, he
Because
didn't make it funny.
everything that he did was like, it was all truth.
Well, you totally
don't
get
forget
it.
Randy
All
Rainbow.
truth. Yes.
What's that?
Randy Rainbow's
Yes, he's coming.
That's right.
Right,
Yes.
Randy. So they are getting edgier. And Wanda Sykes, I would love to have seen that too. I
Yeah,
think
me
she is
too.
one of the most hilarious
Brilliant.
people on the planet.
Brilliant.
Hey, you mentioned you grew up on Long Island.
I did indeed in North Massapequa, which is different than Massapequa and different than Massapequa Park. And since you mentioned Massapequa, now I have to tell you all the people who are from there.
There are a lot of
Please
people
do.
from
Yes, I went to Alec, the Baldwins.
Yeah, all the
but
Baldwin
they were
brothers.
on the South Shore, so there's 3 high schools in Massapequa. So you always go, which high school did you go to? The Baldwins went to Berner High. Then Jerry Seinfeld went to Massapequa High. So did Jessica Hahn. Remember Jessica
Oh, yeah.
Hahn?
Oh, yeah.
She took the hush money at the Delta Diner, which is a diner we used to go to after, not to talk about whatever unsavory things she did. And
Didn't she
then
pose for Playboy?
Oh,
yes,
yeah.
she did.
Yeah.
Oh, well, afterwards.
That was
Yes,
post.
Afterwards. I think
after
I-
her unsavory,
Yeah.
after her secret unsavory things. And then I went to school with Steve Guttenberg, who's now Steve Gutenberg, but we knew him as Steve Guttenberg
From the Police Academy
Yes.
Yeah,
movies.
for a while,
Yes,
he
indeed.
was. I mean, he was
Yes.
like the biggest thing in movies for a
yes.
while.
We're back in touch now, texting one another, which
He-
is very nice.
Does these bits on Instagram that are absolutely they're kind of these moments of zen with Steve
Yes,
Gutenberg.
Yes, he'll walk in and is like, "Have a good day." Blah, 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 blah.
It's hilarious. I mean, because I love those Police Academy movies. They were hilarious. They were a little base, a little raunchy, but
Yeah.
a lot of fun. And now, he shows up on my Instagram and like, I'm just here at the beach.
Yeah,
And I
which
was
is great.
thinking, we're all like grains of sand.
That's
And wouldn't it be great if that one guy who could make all the sounds would just pop up on the screen and start doing all that weird stuff?
And like Bobcat Goldthwait was a villain in one of
Yeah.
those movies. That was crazy. So you grew up with Steve.
I did grow up with Steve. His family moved to like 3 doors down from us. I think we were in 4th grade. He was a year older than me. And yeah.
So 3 high schools. Were you in the rich kids' high school?
No, we were. God, no. God, no. It was Burner High, South Shore. People, yes, South Shore. I'm editing myself.
You don't have to.
Feel free not to.
I was going to say families that named and didn't know, like Italiano,
Yes.
like Gambini, those types of people.
Oh, a lot of vowels.
Yes,
All right,
a lot
well,
of vowels.
I'm going to tell you. Evans is my television
I
name.
know. I figured because you just told us
His
that
last
joke
name is
before.
just O.
I had a feeling.
My last name starts...
Your name is Evans, like my name is Evans.
Right,
Which is a joke.
it starts with a... I've got vowels on both ends of my name, so I know what you're talking about.
I could see right through you. I was like, his name
I'm
is...
in the witness protection
Your name is so
program.
not Evans.
And Randy, stop trying to divide our guests on socioeconomic lines.
Yes.
Rich high
you
school,
can.
poor high school. What are you doing?
And I don't feel economically shamed, but we were, I
I went to the poor high school in my town. I'm proud
would
of it.
say that we were,
I'm
it was
proud of
all
it.
middle class. It was all middle class.
Oh, so you were the rich
Baldwin's, no, I mean, Alec Baldwin, they were teachers, which means they made $1.04. So, but they lived on the South Shore. It was a little richer. Massapequa High and Burner are more on the South Shore, and North Massapequa, I went to Plain Edge High. That's Mid-Island, you would call it. Sort of.
Where do the Italians go? Which one?
Oh, all of them, because you know Massapequa
Wherever
is
they
called
wanted.
Do you know what they call Massapequa? Matzo pizza.
Matzo pizza.
Because it literally is. I'd throw Irish in, but it's cat. I knew all the cat. You know, it's like, oh, it's Holy Thursday. Oh, it's tomorrow's Good Friday. Banks closed from noon to 3.
True story. Until 4 years ago, I thought I was Italian. My last name's Florence, and then I found out I was Irish.
Oh.
So I could have gone to that high school, and I would have been fine.
Yeah. You know what we were?
Florence barely has any vowels and none at the end or the beginning.
Yeah.
Well, I guess it ends in E.
But yeah, so it was all. It's all really kind of the same. You know, they were. It's all this. It was all very middle class.
So,
Jerry Seinfeld, also, whose father owned. I just cut you off, but his father, Cal Seinfeld, owned a store which was right up the block from us called Cal's Signs, and my parents had a TV business, and we bought our. They bought the sign from Cal. You know, for the store.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cal
Seinsfeld.
Signs.
yeah,
Yeah.
I would have gone with Seinsfeld.
Seinfeld.
I would-
But it was
Seinfeld
Cal
sign.
Signs. Yeah.
I don't know. I think he missed a marketing opportunity there.
Yeah, well.
His son did okay, though.
He did very well for himself.
He's done.
Yes.
It was a pretty funny
He
show.
did.
It's a long way from Long Island to L.A.
Yes.
How did that happen?
Well,
Probably on a plane.
it was on a plane. Wow.
It's gonna be
Okay,
one of
next
those shows.
question.
I think you're not booked at the McCallum. You're going to open for Charo.
I've got the outfit.
It was college. I went to school at Hofstra.
Right,
first,
Hofstra in New York.
Which was on Long Island. It's more, people live there for sure, you know, but it was people live at, you know, in the dorms, but it's mostly a commuter school.
Oh, it's a commuter college, yeah.
And I thought, this is not for me. So then
I wish everybody had seen the look on his face.
This is why we need video.
Yes.
This is one of those. I wish we had
thought,
video.
yeah. Well, I was supposed to go to school in Boston, and then I I wasn't ready. So then I just moved to California with friends, took off a half a year. Now they would call that a gap. I took a half of gap year. And then I went to USC, where I didn't meet one person in the whole time I was there. And having just Coca-Cola with me, you know that it wasn't me, because I can talk to a wall. And I sort of am now. Are you here? I hated it. And it's so funny because I know people who worked there or whatever, and they go, oh, Glenn, why did you hate USC? I was like, well, it was either really rich kids or people who were there on football scholarships. They're like, it hasn't changed.
Well, it's, you know, the University of Spoiled Children.
Oh, yeah.
As they
It
say.
was so not my thing.
And I'm not picking on USC, but any
No.
listeners to our podcast who went to USC, we love you.
Yeah.
Great football
Yeah.
team.
But
Excellent football. It's certainly better than Fresno City.
Yeah.
Well, I used to say, the problem with football at USC is when you go to the NFL, you have to take a pay cut.
Yeah.
But there's that. There's that. That's a whole different thing. I don't want to get into
aren't they going to be able to start doing endorsements?
They are.
Look at me talking sports.
Look at.
How about that?
But you're a musical theater guy.
I am.
So I am surprised that you left New York when you did.
Well, I did. Well, I left New York, and then I ended up at UCLA where I graduated. But then I went back to New York in 1982, and I spent about 9-10 years there, pounding the pavement. And it was really hard, and ugh. It was the 80s. It was not good.
Right.
And
New York was in deep decline.
Oh, my God. Although I do miss that a little bit. I was just back in New York, and the Times Square is so repulsive now that I almost miss the prostitutes. And
oh, it's so much more repulsive now because
I miss the prostitutes.
Yeah, there's sports bars and the Gap.
And people are eating at Applebee's.
Yeah.
Like, for real.
Prostitutes?
I miss the prostitutes are not eating at Applebee's. I don't know where the prostitutes are. I miss them.
They eat at the Italian place called Pastitutes.
Yes, prostitutes.
Great restaurant.
No, it's not.
Wow.
It's weird. Though you leave, you just have to tell them the money's on the dresser, and then you walk out.
Now,
so we can be dirty.
Oh, yeah.
we can.
We can be dirty.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely. Was that dirty?
Yeah,
but you said
no,
you,
not real. Well, it's
you were
fun.
kind of struggling for 10 years.
Oh, my God, yes.
So there was nothing else you were going to do. You were either going to do this.
Oh, my God. I was in therapy at one point. Well, at one point, I still am, but there. And they were like, well, what else are you interested in? You could do, but I was so appalled when they were like, what else am I interested in? How dare you?
Do you know who I
that
am?
I may go back to school for library science. How dare you? I was really like that, And am I talking too loud? I feel like I'm shouting.
No.
So no plan B.
Well, there wasn't really a plan B, although I did have a variety of jobs in New York. Those were not my plan B.
What were your favorite of the odd jobs that
I
you were
cleaned apartments. And this is good. I cleaned apartments, and one guy hired me, and I think he wanted more. It was anyway.
His apartment was already
He may
clean.
have wanted more, and I was like, "Ew! Does he want me to be one of those people that is gonna vacuum naked and
Hank Azaria in the birdcage.
Yes, exactly. So that wasn't good. But here's the deal. I was like, ugh, I have to clean these apartments. So I figured out how to clean quicker than the 8 hours they hired me for. So I would clean, and then really spray a lot of Lysol and ammonia right on the front door. So when they walked in, they were like, oh, this is the best. And then I think a doorman ratted on me. And because I got a note saying, we'd like you to stay the full time, please.
But then you could just clean, spray
Yeah.
it, and then sit and watch their TV.
Yeah. And then there was I could have. There was someone else whose name I can't really say who it was, but it was someone who was a daughter of prominent people in Washington. And she...
Chelsea Clinton.
No, because it was in the 80s.
Trisha Nixon.
No. She had, and this was normal. Can you imagine in your 20s and you think well, okay, she would leave her panties for me in a net thing and have me hand wash them, which I thought was a little shocking. But I
Especially
did
if it was Trisha Nixon.
I did. It wasn't Richard. It wasn't
Richard Nixon?
No, it wasn't Richard Nixon. And nor was it one of those Lady Lindberghs or any of them.
One of the
But I
baby
thought
birds.
that was very unsavory.
That is-
but I did it because you're young and you're like, okay, this is weird, but I'll do it. Now I would be like,
There are some
"Excuse
guys
me?"
that would pay to do that.
Not me.
Yeah,
Not
yeah.
me.
All
Not
right,
me.
so you did that. What else did you do?
For years I worked at the precursor to Ticketmaster called Charge It.
Right.
And those were all the theater tickets. So charge it, can I help you? And to this day, I can still remember the Centrum in Worcester, where it's a basketball, CEN, enter, you know.
You know all the abbreviations for the arenas.
Yeah. I guess we were sort of on computers, but not really, because it was like, and you couldn't give seating. You would say, you'll get the 3 best seats in the orchestra. Thank you. And you're like, yeah, right. You're sucker. You're in row Z on the side. But that was fun. That was very interesting.
Did you go to a lot of shows and such?
That's what was so good about it, because we got to go to everything.
Yeah.
We got to go. The thing I remember, once we had to come in very early because of a group that I never had heard of called Menudo.
Menudo.
And the
Was
Menudo.
that with Ricky?
Yes, it was with Ricky, but it was when they were really small.
Oh.
And so that I did for years. That was good. And then the Pièce de Résistance, I was the head receptionist for the Ava Gabor Wig Company.
No way.
I was indeed, which was in the on West 39th Street. Oh God, I used to take the bus there. I used to get my 59-cent egg on a roll and eat it and read my New York Daily News. The Daily News was good then. It was luscious. And so the Ava Gabor Wig Company, the first thing we learned was how, if Ava Gabor called in, how to, this was when long-distance phone calls were still expensive. We had to learn how to patch her in to Merv Griffin.
Wow. So she didn't have to dial direct?
Correct. So you think, oh, hi, hold please. And then you're like, okay, we have Merv for you. So that was that. And
I think Ava is actually buried here at Desert Memorial Park.
Oh, is she? That's amazing. She was a smart lady, because that was before people, stars put their name on crap and stuff. Can I say shit?
You can say shit.
So I just did.
You did.
It's freeing, isn't it?
It's very freeing. It's really freeing. But
is the
if
freest
you knew me
podcast.
even better, it would be shocking what I haven't said. But
Now I want to get to know you much better.
So So that was very impressive. But I was fired, the first time I was fired, because something was invented called the fax machine. And they were going to be able to fax the wig orders into the, I still remember everything because it was made from Canecolon, which is some sort of synthetic something. And we used to have to fax. The salespeople would be calling Merle Normans all over the country. And then at the end of the day, you'd be like, hello, Merle Norman in Livonia, Michigan. I still remember where that was Lou's territory. Lou's territory.
You never liked Lou.
Lou was a great guy.
Lou lived in like a SRO, the single room occupancy in the theater. I think Lou had a bad time, I think Lou had other things that he thought was going to happen in his life, and he ended up selling Canecolon Ava Gabor wigs.
Let's take a moment for Lou. Okay.
Lou. So they were like, you're fired because we're going to be able to fax these orders now. So I lost that job. Now, go 20 years later, I read that this comedian, actress Annabelle Gurwitch, who became a friend of mine because I stalked her, had a show called Fired in New York, and it was monologues of all of her famous friends who had been fired. And it was a big hit in New York. And she was going to write a book. And she was like, does anyone have fired stories? So I wrote her through the website and said, I've got a juicy one, because I used to work for the Ava Gabor Wig Company. So I'm in that book. I'm a published essayist.
Wow.
That book is still available. And then they did a live broadcast of it. And it's on tape. You can get the CD. You can ask Amazon to play that for you.
Oh, lovely. Cool.
And it's famous people and me. Like Carol Leifer, Charlene Woodard, Glenn Rosenblum. So, but that's
a pretty
very
good story.
interesting. It was a good story.
Did you ever meet Ava?
Yes, she came in yes, I did.
And was her
Is
hair
there a story?
huge?
No, her hair. No, she was lovely.
Yeah.
She was lovely. And even then, because I was in my 20s, I was like, this is a smart woman.
They knew what they were doing, the sisters, didn't they?
Oh, and the mother, Magda.
Yeah.
The mother, Magda, had a costume jewelry store on Madison Avenue. That's where I used to have to get the crosstown bus at 66th Street. So it's like, oh, it's that Magda Gabor. Those Gabors were smart.
So the New York chapter comes to a close, and you come back.
And I'm like, I'm out of here. Moved back here.
Family in New York, and
All of my family in New York.
what happened when you said I'm out of here?
They were fine. Yeah.
Did they notice?
Yeah, they
Okay.
noticed. Yeah, they were fine.
Why are you antagonizing the guests?
But I
Jesus.
went back. He's not antagonizing me. I've dealt with much worse. This
And much
please.
smarter, I'm sure.
No.
Good heavens. You just met Glenn.
I never noticed you the last time. I got to get
Trying to
everything
figure
out.
out how old you are. I can't. You're one of like you could be someone in his 50s who doesn't look so good, or 70s who looks terrific.
No.
You know, like when you get older, you can't tell people like I'm 50 because you're like, well, you're a shitty looking 50.
No,
I used to say it to my mother-in-law. It's like, Rita, you've got to tell people you're 110 because then they'll be like, that woman's in good shape.
Glenn, I've been doing it for years. I've
You
been telling
can't
people
say,
I'm
like,
over
you're-
80. When I
Okay.
tell them I'm 67, they just
Are you
think I've had a
67?
really hard life.
You're 2 years older than me?
Yes.
All right.
This is
You
my
look good.
favorite podcast ever.
You look good. So
But
you're
I-
in 1957,
I
baby?
was 1957. baby. That's what my mom said.
I thought you were older. You present older. You present older.
So anyway-
Is that good? Am I invited back? Is that bad?
Oh,
Maybe I
I-
should have gotten a
Bartender?
hamburger.
Actually,
You hamburgers, please.
you may be co-host.
Oh.
But I want to be the first
Well,
guest.
see, and I knew you were Italian. I was like, he's Patrick Evans, like I'm Patrick Evans.
Well, this
Please.
isn't as
That's
bad.
the most made-up vanilla name I've ever heard. And is your real name like Pachucchio or something?
No, it
But
is
you know
Patrick.
your way around gravy in the Sunday morning, right? And you call it gravy.
No, I'm a sauce guy.
Where did you grow up?
I was born in New Jersey, but grew up in
Sausalito.
Virginia.
Oh, you were born in New Jersey?
I was born in
like
Jersey.
Tri-state, like close.
Morristown,
Oh, please.
next
That's-
to Washington's headquarters.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, because the gravy people are all like
I grew
Bensonhurst.
I grew up with the gravy people.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Those women who woke up at 4 a.m.
Well, we did. We made the sauce the same way.
Yeah.
They call it gravy. We thought it was weird that they could, but the New Yorkers nobody in Jersey called it gravy.
Yeah.
That I know of.
Well, the Brooklyn people did.
Yeah, Brooklyn.
Yeah. Who all moved to Long Island.
They-
Because Westchester was too fancy.
That's
you know,
right.
Or
Well,
New
you know.
Jersey.
I had to get away from the Baldwins.
Exactly. Those
That's where the Baldwins were. They went to the Baldwins.
Yeah.
Oh, you were in the middle class school. That's right.
We were all middle class. We were all.
all right,
Jerry
so when you-
Seinfeld's father owned a sign shop. I mean, yeah, it wasn't exactly.
Were you
Rockefellers.
involved in neighborhood stuff? I mean, did you like play Little League against any of these guys or anything? No. That's probably the dumbest question I'm going to ask all
Do
hour.
I look like I played baseball? How dare you?
Well, I'm
How
pretty old,
dare
so my
you.
eyes are real bad.
Glenn,
How dare you?
Glenn, we usually tape this on Tuesdays. If you're available on Tuesdays,
How dare
It's so much
you.
simpler over there.
I find that homophobic that you asked me if I played baseball.
I play baseball.
Just because okay. How dare you? Gym class gave me diarrhea. That's what I will say.
Did you get an A?
No. Let me say, no. I just posted something on Facebook. Listen to me, because the Olympics are on now.
Yes.
And I'm watching all these people doing gymnastics and all this shit. And I'm like, what was the New York State Board of Education thinking? Saying, do the rings. You're like, do the rings? What? Teach me. I was like, why didn't they teach people? It's like, I didn't play baseball or football, but now I wish that I had the balls to say to them, teach me how to play football.
Yeah. Would you have?
If they taught me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let's go.
Okay, my hip hurts a little. Not right. Look, 1957, baby. Have several seats.
You young people.
Have several seats. You've been on Medicare for 2 years.
Oh, it's the greatest thing
I'm new to it.
ever.
I'm new to it.
All right, I want to.
So go ahead.
I don't want to interrupt this
All right,
love
young man,
fest.
go ahead.
So I go back.
You go
I
back to
forgot
LA.
you were here.
Yeah, I know. You are listed as a talent booker.
I am. That was I had it with acting.
So, but you were still in the biz. You were booking actors to do other things.
Yeah, I learned. I worked for a company that booked celebrities for endorsements. In those years, it literally was come meet Rue McClanahan at the Boca Raton Mall. Which was big, you know. It's funny because I see Tiffany is coming to
Yes.
the one of the casinos, and Tiffany got her. She was like a mall person. It was very big in the. We'll just leave it at
She
that.
was.
We'll just leave it at that.
We'll leave it at
She
that.
made the mistake of leaving malls at a time.
So I learned the business. We were the conduit of. If a mall needed whatever, the business then grew more into ad companies and PR companies looking for celebrities to endorse things or represent, not commercials per se, but tied to companies somehow, which is, I told you before, William Shatner.
And this gets us to the William Shatner story because you booked Bill he did a safety video about.
Even though I know him, I still wasn't comfortable to call him Bill. But you're Patrick Evans.
Yeah.
No.
Or Mr. Evans, as he asks me to call him.
He would definitely tell me it's Mr. Shatner to you.
Well, first of all,
he didn't say stop looking at me.
Who the fuck are you?
That's what
you can say fuck.
We can say fuck.
How could you not tell me this before we started?
That's the Paul Anka story. William Shatner
Paul
never
Anka
said
said that to him.
Oh,
that's a different story.
He's-
But so you booked
I did.
Mr. Shatner for his safety video for turkey fry.
Yes, and it was through State Farm, and we didn't think we would get him, and we did. And so I got to spend the day with him because State Farm is very this department was very mom and pop, and they came out and we spent a whole day doing the turkey fryer and blah, 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 blah. And it's so funny because I, of course, did the original contract, and that was supposed to be taken, not in perpetuity. Look at me being all businessy now. But it wasn't supposed to live on the internet at all. But how do you erase that from the internet?
You can't.
You can't. So it's
still there?
Well, it's on my Google alerts, and it always comes up. It's there.
Oh.
It's there
I gotta
forever.
see that.
It's a riot.
Yeah.
Oh, it's really very.
Shatner is so good in this.
It's really. You
And
know
he's
it? You've seen it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He's just
it's
talking
great.
about turkey fryers.
No,
or
he does
protecting
it.
yourself
They
from
made a
turkey
whole
fryers.
script, and it was very funny and esoteric. It's his sense of humor.
It's his sense of humor. But it's because turkey frying was big, but people were burning their houses down
Yes.
because they were putting frozen turkeys into the
Which
fryer.
you can't do.
And the oil would splatter.
It was State Farm.
People
it was a big
were
deal.
lining the turkey fryer on they put it on the floor, but they put newspaper underneath it.
Yeah.
So, or a piece of plywood. So,
Something that'll burst into
when you put
flames.
600-degree oil on it, it will catch fire and burn your house down.
I
So-
actually didn't know any of this until, but so here's the deal. So he actually cooked the turkey, and then they brought sides in, and it was just like 5 of us, and we had like turkey dinner with him.
You had turkey dinner with William Shatner.
And it was really great. And this part is
I just
really.
saw you just like glazed
This
over
part
for a
is really
second
great
there.
because he said, I call the tuchas, which is for any of your viewers who may not be Jewish, is the arse of the turkey.
The ass end of the turkey.
And that's the part I said, oh my God, that's the part my mother always calls because it's fatty and it's disgusting, but it's delicious. So I always fondly remember that he said that, and
Did he ate the tuchus?
he did eat the tuchas.
Tuchus.
He did eat the tuchas. Oh, it's so fatty and ridiculous.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's yummy.
I've learned more about
Now
William
you
Shatner.
know how to get them over to your house.
Yeah, hey, we're saving the
Turkey
tuchus for you.
But I want to say that he was some of the. This is people used to say, "Oh, tell me about the celebrities," and I would say the bigger the celebrity, or the celebrity that's been in the business the longest, those are the nicer people. It was the reality. Look, I was doing it really a lot in the aughts and the 2000 whatever. The reality stars were very big.
So
stars.
who are some of the people that you were booking?
Oh God, a lot of the housewives, Teresa Giudice, Bethany Frankel.
Oh God.
But also like I booked Michael Graves for something. Regis Philbin, Joan Rivers.
Okay, Regis Philbin.
Nice.
Nice guy?
Couldn't be nicer.
Because I wanted to grow up to be Johnny Carson. If I couldn't be Johnny Carson, I wanted to be Regis Philbin.
He was good at what he did.
Oh.
Like the best.
So good.
And so was Johnny Carson. We were just talking about him with some friends the other day. Regis was so great. And, you were saying, it's so funny because I was going to bring up Regis's names. You say that a lot of people come up to you because they recognize you and they feel like they know you. When I met Joe Smith from your competing...
Yeah, Joe was on KMIR for several years.
I kidded Joe and I was like, I have like breakfast with you every morning. So you do feel like you know those people. So when I once saw Regis Philbin on the street in New York, I actually was one of those people who went, "Hey, Reg," because you feel like you do
It's me.
know them.
And what did Regis do?
He said hello back. And I once in New York, that's what I miss about New York, that I took a walk through the park and Howard Stern was coming. I was like, "Hi, I love your show so much." He's like, "Thanks, man."
People,
and that's the best.
People who have only spent time on the West Coast don't like. L.A. is honestly the most segregated city on the planet.
So lonely, and because you're isolated.
You're isolated. There's not a lot of public transportation. Everybody takes their car.
Right.
In New York, you take the subway.
Right.
Everybody does.
Yeah.
Rich, poor, everybody in between.
Yeah.
At some point, you're on the subway or you're walking through Central Park. It's much more integrated.
Exactly. So it's really something, New York, for that.
The other thing, when I moved to the West Coast, and this freaked me out, and I wonder if you had the same experience. In New York, when you're going out and you walk into a bar or a restaurant, people go out of their way not to make eye contact.
Exactly.
They don't want to look at you.
Right.
But in L.A., everybody looks up to see if somebody they need to talk to walks.
You got it.
And it's the most weird thing because you walk in place and everybody looks.
It's annoying.
But it's such an East Coast, West Coast thing. We're going to take a.
Oh, go ahead.
We're going to take a quick pause
And
because
then I've got a Naomi Judd story.
we're going to.
May she rest in peace.
Right after this, we're going to hear from our sponsor, our presenting sponsor, the McCallum Theater, and then we're going to come back with a little story about Naomi Judd from Mr. Glenn Rosenblum, our guest today on Big Conversations Little Bar.
The McCallum Theater's 2024-2025 season is on sale now. The world's top artists, from jazz, pop, classical, and comedy to the best of Broadway. Only at the Valley's favorite place for great entertainment. Tickets are on sale now at the McCallum Theater box office, by phone, or online at McCallumTheater.org. Tickets sell quickly, so order yours today. A new, exciting season only at the McCallum. The McCallum Theater's 2024-2025 season is on sale now.
We are back, Glenn.
Oh.
Tell us.
That was okay. Naomi Judd. May she rest in peace.
Yeah.
This is not an awful story, but it's a fun story. I booked her like at a women's expo. I used to book a lot of those expos. And Naomi Judd's rider, which I still have, said that Miss Judd must see a body of water from her hotel room. But this appearance was in Oklahoma City. So where are we going to find? So I literally had said to the agent, can it be the pond at a Marriott, whatever? And I think we ended up picking a hotel that she could see, like
a water feature.
A water feature.
Wow.
Oh, my goodness.
So it's not a hilarious story.
But it's,
they say that in riders, sometimes they'll put to see if you read it. Do you know this story?
Yeah.
And they'll put they must have 4 brown M&Ms in a gummies.
Right.
And they're like, and if you get that means that they read the rider.
You actually read the rider and understood it. How did you get from that and then back into performing? Because you just did a couple of shows at CV Rep for their
did.
summer cabaret series. You were on Eye in the Desert because you were working with kids and doing cabaret.
Yes, yes.
So tell me a little bit about how you jumped back into performing.
Well, I was performing again when I moved back here and learning this celebrity business, and then I left it for a while. It was just so exhausting. And when we moved, my partner and I moved to out here, and we live about a mile from CV Rep. And I said, I don't know, I sort of got a hankering, and I was like, could you imagine if I auditioned for a musical there and got in it, and then I would be a minute from the theater? And I did. I auditioned for Chess, the musical Chess, which was always in my top 5. Which musicals do you hate? Chess was one of them.
So why did you audition for it?
Because
I'll make it better.
I thought it would be fun. No, this is why I don't like Chess. Chess is about a chess match between a Russian and an American.
Yeah, it's like Gary Kasparov and
Yes, exactly. And it's there's a lot of espionage and who knows what and who doesn't know what and do you know what I know or do you know that I know what you know kind of story. That is so not my kind of. That's like a Tom Hanks movie I wouldn't go see. It's like I can't follow. I can't follow this.
I thought we were about to get a song.
No,
I thought we were really
I can't
close.
follow this. So then I got cast, which was great, and then I said, oh my God, I'm going to have to actually figure, like, this kind of a story gives me diarrhea. How am I'm going to have to actually know who knows what, have to figure this out, which I did, and I ended up loving it. And so I established a relationship with them, with Ron Salona, who founded that theater.
Yeah, he was the artistic director and founder for many years,
Yes.
and now Adam is there, and Adam's
Yes,
tremendous.
doing great, and it's an Actors Equity Theater. I'm a very pro-union guy.
Did you have to audition for that part?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah, they auditioned in L.A.
Really?
Yeah. And then I did Ballroom there, and then during, which is another musical, and they got the composers to come work on it with them. And then I had said to Ron Salona, I do these lectures on musical theater that are sort of interactive, And he was like, oh, that sounds, maybe we'll do that on the main stage. And then COVID hit. And so we were all away. And I can't remember. I think Tom we put together these lectures in a Zoom thing where they figured out how people could come on and actually be, some Zooms it doesn't seem like 30 years ago.
I know, it feels like forever, but
some Zooms you didn't know who else was on, but some Zooms like you could know
you
who
saw
was
everybody.
on. Yeah. So we did it where you saw everybody, I think, and they became fundraisers for. I did it for CV Rep, and I did it for a synagogue that we were members of in Los Angeles, to raise money for them, and they were very popular. There would be like 300 people
Wow.
from all over crazy.
And they were paying to see it?
Free. But then at the end, they were like, if you like this,
Yeah.
and so now I do it for their summer series, 2 or 3, which I think 3 is a lot of me for the summer.
I want to know though, you had to be performing in L.A. to get the title, the Prince
Yes.
of Los Angeles.
So
how did you get bestowed that royalty?
Oh, that royalty. Well, I was at a part. My friend Kelly was booked on Crystal Cruises, which is very fancy.
Crystal is
Crystal is fancy.
Crystal and Oceana are like the.
Even with a weatherman's salary, you'd have to go into that CD, Patrick Evans, Patrick Chakotay.
I'm not fit to tie
Patrick
the ropes on an Oceana.
Patrick
Crystal
Sincotti.
cruise.
What's your real name again? What's your name?
I'll tell you after the
Severizo?
podcast.
Is it
I can't tell you on the
Severizo?
air.
Is it Tomasino?
There are still people looking for me.
Okay. Oh, one of those.
We'd have to pay him as 2 people. We can't do that,
yes.
so.
Are you in the witness protection program?
I am. I'm one of the few people on television
On
that can
CBS.
do that. Yeah.
Wow. Anyway. Wait, what was the question you asked me?
You were performing in L.A. How did you get the title?
So my friend
I
Kelly.
asked you, did you play baseball when you were...
How dare
Did you go to the Rich Kids High School?
How dare you? This is so not going to be up for a GLAAD award. Or how dare you economic snob, Randy. 1957,
Hey,
baby.
he's a retired banker. He is
old.
totally...
You are retired. You had a real job.
He did.
So you have you're doing okay. You live in La Quinta, putting the pieces together. You're doing fine.
And yet I'm sitting here with you
Here
guys
you are.
at this
God
time.
knows why.
Fairway Estates. He lives in
Is it fancy?
Oh.
All right. On that note.
Okay. So
Wait,
anyway,
I'm still getting the answer to the question, how you got the title Prince of Cabaret.
my friend Kelly gets booked on this Crystal Cruise, and I'm like, that sounds like I want in on that. But I'm not one of those actors. I don't like actors, you know. They're gross. That's the old joke.
They give you diarrhea.
What movie were you in, Patrick?
No, you know, sometimes people pounce on your thing, and it's like, this is my thing. So I was like, that sounds good, but if it happens where we meet the people who book it. Long story short, I did meet the person. We had a good rapport, and he's like, have you ever done a cabaret show or lecturing? I was like, both make me sick to my stomach. I don't think I could. He says, I challenge you to put a cabaret show together and a lecture together. So I did, and then I tried the cabaret show out in L.A., so that was good. And it was successful. And then the lectures I just tried out to my dogs and my partner.
Did they go over well?
They went over very, very well. And so now I've been doing that since 2015.
Oh, that's
going on
fantastic.
Crystal Cruises. Yeah. And what I do at CV Rep is a little more juicy because it's 90 minutes and I can, not that I curse, but I'm a little more, it's different. You have to mind your P's and Q's a little on Crystal, but not really. Both are very similar audiences, smart. My brother called them the PBS crowd. They are the PBS crowd.
Yes.
Well, it's just people who are interested, and it's been a great thing. We've gone to places that are insane.
Crystal Cruise is made. Now, you mentioned Chess, not one of your favorite musicals.
No.
What are some of your other least favorite musicals?
Oh, my God. Least favorite. Well, there was a musical that Andrew Lloyd Webber wrote called The Woman in White. Horrible.
Never heard of it.
Exactly. Horrible. Unwatchable.
Which is sort of unbelievable because everything he writes is a hit.
Right, but this was not.
This was not.
Oh, he wrote another one called Stephen Ward, which was terrible, which was about a true... it was like a sex scandal called the Profumo case. It's... So
it's a true story.
It's a true story about... It's almost like who's the bad guy who... the guy who killed himself in jail and he was running...
Epstein.
Epstein. It was like an Epstein thing.
Okay. Yeah, this sounds like something I would like to see.
Yes, and there was actually a musical number in the second act where they were at a sex party in chains and leather. It was unseemly.
Well, now I kind of want to see it.
No, you don't.
Eyes wide shut on stage.
Real life stories seldom, like Nixon Goes to China. Not a great musical.
But no, it's an opera.
But it's not a great opera.
No.
But what are your favorite musicals?
Gypsy is one of my favorites.
Okay.
You know Gypsy Straight Italian Man?
No.
You don't know Gypsy?
I know of it.
Oh. So they're reviving it in New York. It's wonderful. It's about the stripper Gypsy Rose Lee and how she got her start in show business with a very pushy stage mother. And it's revived every few years because it's called the Hamlet of musicals. It's a very demanding part for an actress.
Do you like Cats?
Not the play.
I don't. Yes, I'm a cat lady. Oh, we can't get political.
We're not political.
Can't get political.
Childless cat ladies. No, because I can't stand that musical.
No, and it's not my thing, but it's revived in New York now, and it's doing well because they've made it into...
Dogs.
No. They've turned it into the runway... the whole runway culture of the gays, and there was that TV show Pose and that whole runway. So the cats are all like gay.
That's awesome.
Yes, they've made it, and it's fabulous.
I've always said if I went back to see Cat in its original run, I would have taken a bag of kitty litter and thrown it.
No, it's
We're going to come back to this.
oh.
But now, it is time for Big Conversations Little Bar's Rapid Round. We ask our guests 5 key questions, and we want them to answer all of them in under 2 minutes. The Rapid Round is presented by Vitara Wellness, just a stone's throw from Little Bar at 74345 Highway 111 in Palm Desert. Vitara Wellness is your path to lasting weight loss success. Open Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. Vitara Wellness offers medical weight loss services, IV vitamin and hydration therapy, hormone replacement therapy, and regenerative cell therapy. Yes, I did it. Transform your health, transform your life. Visit them online at Vitara. That's Vitara wellness.com. Live life well. Glenn, are you ready?
I am.
Other than your own, what profession would you like to have been in?
Oh gosh, maybe a high school teacher.
Really?
Yeah.
I think that's pretty cool. You'd be
Yeah.
a great teacher.
Yeah.
Yeah. One place you take out-of-town guests.
Oh, here to the Ritz-Carlton for drinks
Oh,
at
great
Sunset.
spot. Isn't that view awesome?
With a delicious cold vodka martini.
We haven't been invited yet. We should pretend like we're
I
out
have.
of town.
Glenn and I went.
Oh, you and Glenn went to the Ritz
sorry, I
yesterday.
should
You weren't
talked about
supposed to
this
tell
earlier.
him.
All right.
No
you're
one born in 1957
We
was
talked a lot
allowed.
about his days playing baseball.
Yes.
at the Rich Kids High School.
Yes.
Yeah. On a deserted island, one book. What is it?
Oh, God. I'll say Catcher in the Rye.
And one movie.
The Wizard of Oz.
Wizard of Oz. If you could have dinner with any historical figure, who would it be?
Jacqueline Kennedy.
I like that too. And this one's really important. Toilet paper, over or under?
Under.
Thank you. No, under. No, that's over.
No,
Oh,
under.
all right. Well, so that's 2 weird guests in a row we've had.
Yeah.
Why,
that
you
answered
do over?
under. There's only one way to do it. I've seen the
No, I don't
when they got the trademark for it,
Uh,
the patent. It
that-
was over.
Oh, maybe we do
Or-
over.
or
No,
it's
I
an
don't
internet-
know.
We're all coming over to Glenn's house so we can.
I would have
check
asked
that
him
out.
who the girl that wanted her underclothes hand washed. That's one of the questions I would have asked.
Well, we are done with those 5.
Oh, we are done. That's the rapid round. And presented by Vitara Wellness in Palm Desert. Visit VitaraWellness.com or call 760-208-4011. Live life well.
Now ask that question.
Who was it?
I can't say.
Oh, come on.
Because she's still alive.
She doesn't
I'm
listen
sure-
to the podcast.
Do you want to know who it was?
Yeah, we do. Yeah.
It was the daughter of Liz Carpenter, who was the press secretary to Lady Bird Johnson. And Liz Carpenter is in that famous picture of Johnson being sworn in.
Oh, on the airplane
Yep.
after the
And it's-
assassination.
Yes, and it's her daughter.
Oh my goodness! Wow. Okay.
That's
well,
mean. That's
it's
terrible.
Not, it's
that
not
that's
mean.
on.
It's a fascinating historical fact.
That she wanted her underwear
Yes.
washed.
Well, just about the time I got depressed over the picture, then I remember what the story was, and I'm all happy again.
But isn't that something, though, from that famous
That's
picture?
crazy.
She had a lot of artifacts. She lived on Central Park West, and I was taken up on the service elevator.
Oh wow! Really?
But she had a lot of presidential plates, and it was a very interesting apartment. There, I would clean the whole time.
well,
weren't like-
I mean, just doing the underwear took for because they had to hand wash it all.
So weird.
There weren't like
net.
White House
It is-
insignias on it or
No,
anything.
no, not on the underwear. But isn't that something?
No, you could only get those at the Clinton White House.
Wow.
Assuming they wore.
You're being political.
I did, but no,
We
that's
can't
just
be political.
Come on, that's like I told Skip he should have a Bill Clinton burger here. That's a regular burger with a little tomato on the side.
Oh, there you go.
I like Bill. He's one of my favorite presidents.
Me too. Me
so-
too. He just couldn't
Look,
control his.
He had appetites.
Yes, he
He was
did.
a powerful man who
He
had.
made some stupid choices.
You eat a Big Mac every day, and
Look.
things are going to start going bad.
If you're horny, you can. Well, but and let me say about Monica Lewinsky, I have a thought on this. Who could blame her? How fun and exciting for a 20-year-old sneak. I mean, she must have been dying. It didn't work out. It's amazing that she didn't become institutionalized. She seems to have her head.
She's gotten herself pretty straightened out, but
It's
she's
very
actually going
impressive.
with it.
Yes, it's very impressive.
I want to ask you about two other people that
yes.
you've worked with. One of them's really big in this valley, Kristen Chenoweth.
Oh, I did an Old Navy commercial with her. So,
I saw that on your IMDb.
this is very Hollywood because they needed a pianist, which I am, and I played a pianist. What is
Someone
wrong
who plays
with
the
you?
piano.
So,
Someone
and
plays-
they dubbed it. They dubbed it in because I guess the sound wasn't good. So then I had to just make believe I was playing. But that was that was the first. Well, I think it was the first commercial I ever did, and it was a holiday commercial, so it was shown a ton of times in a very short period. And
Oh,
I
I'm
was
sure I've
like,
seen that
Oh, wow! Is this how much you make doing commercials? And I remember someone said,
No.
"You're very lucky."
And then one other. With
Yeah, she was very nice.
that's what it
Very.
I met her
nicer.
out here,
Yeah,
and she is very nice.
just folks.
Also,
Ryan Reynolds. Is anybody bigger than Ryan Reynolds right
my God. We weren't allowed to talk to him.
You weren't allowed to talk to Ryan
Seriously?
Reynolds?
Not that I think that's something. I don't think he knew that. I get the sense.
now? And you were marketing Deadpool 2, right?
Yes, it was for Deadpool 2, and it was for a tie-in. Oh, you did read. That's so funny. I was dressed up like Chef Boyardee, and it was for a.
My favorite Italian character.
But it was for a. But it was like for something pizza. It was like one of those Deadpool tie-in things.
And Ryan Reynolds in Deadpool?
Yes, but excuse me. I thought that he was Ryan Gosling the whole
it's
time.
different guy.
And I was like, God, he's not as hunky in person as I thought. And a week went by, and someone was like, that was Ryan Reynolds. I was like, oh, no wonder he wasn't that hunky, because I didn't even know what Deadpool was. I was like, no, if I don't have to talk to him, that's fine, because I don't know who he is.
And he's doing okay.
He's doing just fine.
Yeah.
He's doing just fine.
I've been begging Patrick to go see that movie with me. And he just refuses.
I heard that it's kind of fun.
That's what I heard.
And one of my favorite musical comedy stars is in it, Leslie Uggams.
You just blew another spoiler for me. See, I told you I had to go.
There's a big
I
reference
had
to
such-
Star
No,
Trek
not
too.
the new one, the original.
Oh, the original. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, that she played the blind.
Oh, yeah, I want to see
Yeah.
that.
I had such a crush on her.
I interviewed Leslie Uggams at the Palm Springs Film Festival.
Did you?
Yeah.
This last time?
Yes.
Oh, you know that I just saw that movie 2 nights ago.
Oh.
For American Fiction?
Yes, she plays the mom.
Yes. Did you understand the ending?
No.
I had to Google a lot.
No, I like the
They
movie.
said it's up to interpretation.
And I love Jeffrey Wright, the actor.
Oh, yes.
He's brilliant.
Did you like it?
The film?
Yeah.
I liked him better in the James Bond movies as Felix.
Oh,
Did you like it better than Everything Everywhere All at Once?
I actually like that.
Oh, Randy
I was
loves
shocked. I was shocked that I liked it.
I got through the first about 15, 20 minutes.
Oh,
and I
you
And I
had
kept
to go
telling
with
you,
it.
gotta get past
It was a
that.
bizarre ride that you go with.
Yeah.
the sword fight with dildos. Finally, I just like. I'm
no.
not
But
sure.
do
I
you
need to see the rest of
understand
this.
why they had the butt plugs? Do you understand what they meant?
I actually cried at the end.
I'm not
of
even
that
going
movie.
to answer that question.
Wow.
No, I don't.
And I don't remember the butt plugs. But
The guy that kept trying to jump and sit down on him?
I don't remember that part.
Maybe
Randy,
that was just my...
Randy, are you feeling okay?
That could've-
We are going
you are
to.
older than me.
That could have
You
been the
can
version I got.
log on to bigconversationslittle.com/after-hours for the remainder of
Our
this.
OnlyFans page.
But we are wrapping up this. Glenn, this has been wildly entertaining. I
It
can't remember the
has?
last time I've laughed this much.
It's the caffeine.
I mean,
It's the caffeine talking.
it's the caffeine and Randy asking you about baseball. I mean, that That, to me, sums up this entire episode. On behalf of our guest, Glenn Rosenblum, whom you will be able to catch next season.
Oh, I'm sure next.
He's going to be doing his lecture, get his CV rep. But you might catch him in a show as well.
Yes, indeed. Or on the high seas. If
book
anyone
yourself,
listening is fancy.
Book yourself a Crystal Cruise and see Glenn on board ship.
Yep.
Randy Florence, my co-host and sidekick.
Born in 1957.
And looks shitty for 50, but looks great for... I didn't say that. Glenn said that. I was quoting.
Caffeine talking.
And our good friend and producer, Mr. John
Who
McMillan.
looks just fine at whatever age.
Thanks for listening to this edition of Big Conversations Little Bar. Subscribe so you never miss a moment like this.
Thanks for joining us on this episode of Big Conversations Little Bar. Recorded on location at Skip Page's Little Bar in Palm Desert, California, the center of the Coachella Valley universe. And presented by the McCallum Theater. Online at McCallumTheater.org. This program is a production of the Mutual Broadcasting System. All episodes are available from BigConversationsLittleBar.com and most major podcast portals, including Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, and Spotify.